Hey guys, and welcome to another GameXplain discussion. I'm your host, Andre Seegers, and this time we're joined by Derek Bidner and Ash Paulson to discuss a new downloadable update coming to Mario Kart 8 on August 27th. So let's get started. Alright guys, so Nintendo just revealed a brand new trailer showing off the 3 new Mercedes-Benz cars coming to Mario Kart 8. And I said 3! We thought it was 1 before, but there's actually 3 of them, and they come in different colors too. So you guys can probably imagine how happy I was to see that. But on top of that, Nintendo also announced, I guess, on a Japanese site, which was translated by Cheesemeister on Twitter, a new update coming to Mario Kart 8 that will include several tweaks and changes to the game, basically new additions. And that includes being able to display a map on the TV, having a new record screen showing you the total amount of coins you found, your win and loss ratio, and how often you use particular characters. They're changing the default option when you're playing single player from Mario Kart TV to actually being the next race, which I think a lot of people will like. At least I would have when I was playing single player. The game finally now saves your last kart selection, so you no longer have to reselect it every time. You can edit other people's Mario Kart TV highlight videos, and they're also improving the online. They're saying it will now be more stable, because thank God, if you've seen our streams, you've seen those disconnections happen. So this all, to me, sounds awesome, except for the cars. But what do you guys think about all this?
I think you hit the nail on the head. Everything about this is great, except for the actual DLC itself. I mean, it's kind of cool that they're bringing in 2 different Mercedes-Benz, and they're a bit more classic than before, but it's still jarring as all. It's just jarring as all heck. Seeing the Mario characters racing around in them, it's just sort of like, oh, that's kind of funny. Get it away.
Right.
But it's like I said, it's harmless, it's free, whatever. But as far as all the changes, boy, is that great to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't pay for the cars in a million years, obviously, but, whatever. Like you said, Derek, it's free, and it's, pretty much harmless. I mean, if they started charging for this kind of stuff in the future, like actual real-life cars, that would be ridiculous, but I don't think they will. So, you know what, I'll take the cars, fine, whatever. Probably won't use them very much. But the little additions and tweaks they're making, I could not be happier. Andre, specifically from us playing online, just for fun, that I've had some horrible experiences with Mario Kart 8 Online recently.
Oh, yeah.
With, I can't even join you half the time, and I get dropped all the time, and a lot of the time, even if I can join a room, I'll only join, 2 other people. It's really annoing. Yeah. So the online's been really crappy for me lately, and I'm really happy they're going to work on that.
Well, and Derek can attest to that, too, because he's had major problems.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I still remember during the first stream, one of the first streams we ever did for the Mario Kart 8, I spent an hour trying to pretty much the entire time you were doing the stream, trying to basically connect and get a few races in, and it just never happened. I think I got 2 races in total. It can be really ridiculous, and there's other small bugs there too, where I know you're racing online, you tell me you're racing online, but it doesn't actually show it on the friends list. That little flag there isn't there, so you can't join up.
Yeah. That happens to me all the time.
So please fix this stuff, because this is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I do really wonder what they mean by improving overall online stability, because, they say, improving system stability with every update. I never noticed a change. So I'm really hoping that that those words have meaning this time. But yeah, if they are improving that, I'm hoping they will, go so far as to not just improve the stability, but actually, improve how the friend list works, having it actually function correctly. Because one of the problems, too, is when you try to join someone's game, sometimes it'll just return an error. And it'll give you the same error regardless of whether there's an actual connection issue or if the room's just full. And you have no idea what the actual problem is. So I'm hoping they'll actually clarify that, too. With just really improving it online. Because as is, Mario Kart Wii, I had a much better experience with online than I have with Mario Kart 8, I would say.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's kind of the case with me so far, too, which is sad because I couldn't stand Mario Kart Wii. Otherwise, but yeah, and the other stuff too. I don't really care too much about the map on screen. I know a lot of people were been wishing for that, and that's great. I'm happy for them. I'm more happy about the stat tracker, which I think should have been from the beginning, because they had one in Mario Kart 7 from the beginning. Right. But what sucks is I've been playing for so long. I feel like I'm going to get that gold glider right before this update actually comes out, and then the whole point will be moot for me because I don't need to check how many coins I have anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, I like that this update's happening, but it's almost a little bit too late for some of these features, and by almost, I mean it is, for me at least. Because, yeah, with the record screen, Yeah, the coin, I mean, to me, the coins don't matter at all anymore. I've unlocked everything you can. And then, yeah, you said you're super close, too, at this point, so...
Well, I think I am. I should be.
Yeah, hopefully you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I will say having a proper wins-loss ratio should be cool, and seeing your character selection rates could be interesting, even though mine's gonna be dominated by Metal Mario now. And then same thing with the single-player stuff, like changing the default option to next race from Mario Kart TV. That would have been nice, when the game came out.
Yeah.
Now I'm never gonna play single player again.
Well, is it actually just in single player, or is it in local multiplayer too? Because
it might be. It could be for local multiplayer too. Okay. It probably is, in fact.
Yeah, I hope so, because that I could see being really useful.
But yeah, I guess everything I do these days in this game is online. So. Yeah, but being able to edit other people's Mario Kart videos is cool. Like, there have been times where I wanted to do just that. Wanted to play around with their videos or change them around, and you couldn't. Yeah, so all this is good. The map on the TV, I think is a good thing, but I do look at the map every now and then. But it's not it's not that crucial of a feature. I actually wish they had added and maybe they will. I mean, their thing isn't too specific here, but what will be better is being able to see what items your opponents are carrying on the TV.
That's true. That'll be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be far better. So what I'm hoping they might do, and I don't know if they will, is if you have the map, they actually have the character icons on the map on the TV, is if by the icon you actually see what item they're holding. That could be really useful.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, you always feel like you're getting smacked out of nowhere, and then being able to see what everybody else has would actually be able to maybe not really help you prepare that much, but at least you won't be so pissed off that this actually happened to you. It's like, oh, okay, that guy does have a blue shell. Okay, these 3 people behind me have red shells. That sort of thing. So maybe it'll mitigate some of the anger. Probably not. But
well, because I mean, you can use the gamepad to do all that too. It's just not convenient. Like, I have to hold the game. Like, I sit in a really awkward way when I'm playing. It's like I have the gamepad propped up, so it's basically emulating a Nintendo 3DS as closely as possible. So I can just glance from one screen to the next. But even that is, just taking your eyes off the road for a second can just destroy you at points. And you can see that in my stream sometimes, where you can see me screw up as I was looking at my gamepad, trying to see what the items are. So yeah, having that information on the screen would be useful. Yeah, so I think that covers it for, the update. I think it's all good. But I do want to just touch on the cars real quick, because I was looking at that trailer, and like I said in the first one, like, I came across more negative than I really am on it, even though I still don't like the idea of this. It's just so silly looking. And by silly, I don't mean like Mario silly. I mean, like, the whole idea is silly.
Yeah. I think I figured out why it looks so silly to us is because with those cars, since they do look realistic, it reminds you of those cars that you would drive around as a kid, the little electric cars where it's the Power Wheels.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sort of remind you of the Power Wheels? And like, it feels like they're just a little. I mean, it makes sense for the baby characters, but to have Mario or Bowser in there, it's just like, you're too old for that. Get out of there.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I saw the trailer, and then it ends on my nightmare of everyone using a car with his real cars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's not what I want to see.
Yeah, well, I think probably the other reason too this is all just so weird to us is that I feel like Nintendo is the only publisher in the world who would take their big world-class racing series and not have their first DLC update be new tracks or new characters, but actual, like real-life cars that no one really wants.
It is
it's like,
strange,
what?
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, like I said, it's Nintendo, so I'm not actually that surprised, but I'm like, really, come on.
Well, I mean, to me, like, that is why it's surprising to me, because it seems not characteristic of Nintendo. Like, I said it before, like, it does just seem like a marketing thing. And, I've heard people argue, and I mentioned it before, like, Nintendo's had touched on this a little bit before, like in Mario Golf, where they used branded clubs. But that to me was basically invisible. Like, the only reason I knew about that was because Nintendo mentioned I couldn't mention it at a preview event. And I wouldn't have even seen it if they not mentioned it. Whereas here, like, this is in your face, comparatively. Like, if you play online, there won't be avoiding this, I'm guessing. And they've had trailers for this. I mean,
yeah.
But again, it's not a gigantic deal, but I still just feel like the whole thing is a little bit weird and not characteristic of Nintendo and not what I would expect of a Mario game. But, we talked about that before, so enough about that. What I am curious, though, is about your guys' thoughts as to what else they could do for updates to this game. They're making a good, first step here, making some, actually addressing issues that people have had with the game, which is something we haven't seen Nintendo do much of. Like, this is kind of, like, unprecedented. They did patch, like, Mario Kart 7, like, a big glitch in the game. But they haven't really done anything of this caliber before. So I'm wondering, what else would you like to see? Because I know you've been playing a ton, Ash, and you've been playing it a bit, Derek.
You keep me busy. I don't have time to play.
I played a ridiculous amount. So yeah, is there any other features you guys like to see changed or added to this game?
Well, I think we can all agree on what the big one should be. Item balancing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I think we all had the same idea there. It's just item balancing. It starts out, you think it's okay, but as you play more and more, it really is just like, some of these things should not be happening. Like, you should not be able to get triple red shells in second place.
Yeah.
For instance, I don't know if you guys have had this, but if you're like in last place, and you get triple mushrooms, like, oh, this is pretty awesome, I can catch up now at the end of the race. Everyone else around you has triple mushrooms too.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that.
Right?
It's all I get.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if I'm at sixth place or lower, all I get is triple mushrooms. And I'm like, great, but it doesn't do me anything. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm just sort of stuck in the back, and I can't catch up. That's the thing. Unless you get a certain item in the back, which I'm afraid to say I am mostly in the back, there's no way to catch up. There's no decent items for it, and it's ridiculous. And as we've said before, if you get stuck in the middle of a pack like that, you're screwed.
Oh,
you're just getting pounded.
It's the nonsense zone, as I've termed it. Like, if you're stuck anywhere, I'm basically second to 11th, really.
Pretty much.
It's just complete freaking nonsense. Like, it's just chaos back there, and there is very little rhyme or reason, seemingly, to how the items are distributed. Because, like, I've been, like, in several positions, near the back, and, like, you'll get, like, a single green shell sometimes. Like, what good is this going to do me? And you're just being hammered by everything around you. And then being in first place, like, still getting coins annoys the crap out of me. Like, there was literally an entire race where all I got were coins.
Yeah.
In first place.
No, me too. I mean, I think I would decrease the usefulness of the boomerang. I think that the shell should be able to block the boomerang. Because right now they can't, and it's really irritating to have a shell being dragged behind you, but the boomerang just totally supersedes that.
Right.
And I would also maybe not heavily, but I would definitely improve the star, because the star is almost worthless in Mario Kart 8. I mean, really, there's almost no reason to even use it when you get it, unless you have people close to you, because it doesn't really provide that much of a speed boost.
No, it doesn't.
And usually when I get a star, I'd rather just have triple mushrooms or a golden mushroom.
Yeah, I mean, all stars are really good for, of course, making you invincible.
Yeah.
But they do allow you to take, go off road and take those shortcuts.
Sure.
But if you're not near one, it's not that big of a benefit, which is odd, because they were one of the best islands in previous games.
Yeah.
Whereas, now, I'd much rather mushrooms as well.
Well, I've had so many examples where I get the little icon that, hey, somebody's with an invincibilities behind you. I'm like, oh, okay, keep going. Like, I don't care, because I know they can't catch me. If I'm ahead of them, they're not going to catch me.
Yeah,
unless I screw up.
That actually is a really good point. Yeah, you do get that warning indicator, and it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. They're way behind me, or they're 10 feet behind me. They're not going to catch up at this time.
Yeah. I don't think Nintendo would ever do this, but I kind of wish they would bring back the old item system of being able to hold an item while you're using one. Just because having the one item system where you can't pick up another one as long as you're even using the current one you have has kind of turned Mario Kart 8 into an extremely defensive game. Like, it's so defense-oriented now, because when you're in first place or second place, you don't want to use that red shell or green shell you have, because it's more than likely that you're going to get hit by 10 million things in about a second right after you use it. So, because you can't have that extra item waiting in the wings, it's become a very defensive game, and I don't necessarily like that.
So, that you're right, but I think it actually gets back to the item balance issue. Because the reason, at least for me, the reason I'm holding on to those is because the chance of getting a coin is just far too high.
Exactly.
If they make it so you don't get coins in first place, I think that'll actually resolve that issue.
That's true.
I'd be willing to get use those items and actually switch up every now and then. Because I think adding the ability to hold on to an item would be maybe too fundamental. But I even think changing the item balance would be too far for Nintendo to go. I would love for it to happen. I don't think they will.
No, I definitely don't think so.
Trying to think of anything else I'd like to see changed. I guess now that I've been running tournaments for a while, I really wish it would update that. It's a great feature. It's also fundamentally broken. If you take it seriously as a tournament, it's pretty much fundamentally broken. Because there's two ways you can run a tournament, right? Basically, you can either set it to it runs for a certain amount of time, and basically the more races you do, the better you perform. Or you can set it to there's a certain amount of races, which is better, I think, overall. But the problem with that is you don't necessarily end up in rooms with a maximum of 12 people, which means if you have computers on, you can usually beat them if you're good enough, because they're super easy now compared to humans. Or if your computer's off, you end up getting less points. So basically, there's no good way of running a tournament. And I think they should add a feature where you have to wait till a room is full at 12 people in order for it to actually begin.
Yeah, and that would all come back into the stability thing, is where they fix how many people actually get into the room and actually try to get full rooms rather than, okay, we got 3 people for you, go race.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and also something, I think this kind of goes back into the item balance too, but it's not necessarily to do with the items, is they won't do this, of course, but I almost think changing multiplayer to cap out at 8 instead of 12 would do wonders for the items.
I kind of agree with you. I think we've even talked about this before.
Yeah.
I don't know if 12 people is ideal for Mario Kart. Now, granted, I will say, I don't remember having this exact complaint with Mario Kart Wii, but this time I definitely do. And I think that, again, it gets back to the item balance, where there's so many projectiles now. You have fireballs, you have boomerangs that you can throw. I mean, fireballs, how many of those do you get? Like 7 or 8 of them?
Yeah.
Boomerangs you get 3 throws with. There's triple shells bouncing around all over, triple red shells.
Green shells are just nasty in this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that gets back to the whole nonsense zone, where there's all these projectiles flying around, and that is enhanced. I don't mean that as in it's better, by the fact that you have 12 people now, so you have all these items that's bouncing around all the time. They won't lower the limit. They won't drop it down to 8.
No.
But that actually would improve it, I think, because you do have all this nonsense happening. This game just really dropping out first just kills you.
It really does. Yeah, I know it truly, truly does.
Another option I would like to see added is a true lap option, like being able to change how many laps are in the game.
Oh, I would too. Yeah,
right? That would be good.
Like especially for like tournament settings or just playing with your friends locally. I really just wanted it for Rainbow Road.
Yeah, I'm saying Rainbow Road in 64. Yeah,
exactly. I want at least 2 laps on that. 3 would be awesome. I don't know how they would figure it out with Wario, with Mount Wario. They could do something. Just add a barrel cannon down there and just blast it back. I don't even care what they do. But yeah, I feel like having that option would be awesome. Because 3 laps really just feels like too little sometimes, even for some of the longer courses or most of the courses.
Well, and I'd be okay if if they didn't add a lap option to point A to point B courses like Mount Wario, but for courses that that are essentially loops like Rainbow Road in 64, definitely needs one.
Well, every course but Mount Wario is a loop.
I guess it is now. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so Mount Wario they can leave alone. I think it's great as it is. But yeah, N64 Rainbow Road absolutely needs that option.
And then I would also like to see being able to change karts between races online.
Because you could adjust your strategy to what you're going on and all this other stuff. That would make a lot of sense to be able to do that.
Right?
I mean, especially with new people that just got the game, you're playing around with what you want, and this combination doesn't work for me, so I got to leave this room, try to get back online once I do get my cart set up that I want, and it's just a nightmare. So yeah, that is a good one.
So that covers it for everything I have. Do you guys have any other ideas, or even more outlandish ones like DLC you'd like to see added to the game? Now that we've been playing it so long.
I think that my DLC answer remains the same as it always was. I just want new courses, even more retro courses. Like I don't need new original courses. I just fill out with more retro courses. That's fine.
Especially they update them as they have with the ones already in the game. They did such a great job updating those. I would love to see more.
Yeah.
Like I play this game so much now. I'm starting to feel like I need new courses soon. Otherwise, I'm going to burn out completely on this. Like I had a ton of fun with it. I'm not ragging on the game. But yeah, I'm at the point where something needs to freshen up a little bit, and unfortunately, new Mercedes cars isn't going to do it for me.
Well, especially because we know they can at this point. Like we know that the game supports DLC. We know Nintendo can do it. It's just a matter of doing it, and why haven't they? That's literally free money. Sell a Super NES pack for $5. There you go. 4 tracks. That would everyone with a copy of Mario Kart 8. Probably, well, maybe not everyone. 90% of people with a copy of Mario Kart 8 would buy it.
That's the thing. They have so many tracks to choose from. Even if they do repeats, who cares?
Yep.
Just freshen up the courses, and I don't know. I think that would really revitalize the game for me.
Yeah, yep. I think just do a track pack for each system, you know, like the Game Boy Advance pack, or the, you know, and I'm not saying that would be easy and that, or that it wouldn't be time consuming, but, you know, keep them, release those packs over an extended period of time. I don't want it all right now. I'm just saying, you know, open up with a Super NES pack and then go for an N64 pack, and, you know, these can be 4, 5, 6 months apart, but, you know, just keep the life of the game going, you know.
And actually, speaking of which, how about battle mode?
Oh God!
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll ever patch that or release downloadable, like, actual battle mode tracks for that?
I hope so, but I feel like they really think what they did was okay. Battle mode.
Yeah, I just can't see that happening, and it's, you know, it's telling. I haven't played battle mode once.
Yeah,
it's just I just didn't even bother. Just you hear everybody just not talking anything good about it. It was like, well, there's no point in bothering.
Yeah,
you know, how many people really are playing it online? So just screw it.
They could literally release only the 4th course from Super Mario Kart, and that'd be the only course, and that would be enough. The one with the 4 quadrants.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all they need.
Yep.
Like, release only that, and I would actually play battle mode a lot.
Yeah, no, like, they could just release, like, a single good track, and I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
There's definitely a few more things they could improve here, but at least they are making some efforts.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I wonder if this will I mean, like, you know, Mario Kart is, you know, an evergreen title, as they say. Because, you know, which means it's going to sell for a long time, hopefully.
Right.
So I'm hoping that maybe this is just the first of many updates to come, where they will continue to improve the game, like basically treating each game, you know, each of these evergreen titles as like a platform, or at least these online ones as a platform that they keep improving. And I wonder if, you know, if they do go that route. I'm hoping, you know, I'm excited for what it could mean for Smash, especially.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Right?
Well, there is the promised amiibo features when it comes to Mario Kart 8.
That's
so
true.
Who knows what that'll add? So.
That's a good point. Yeah, we have no idea how that's going to work. Yeah, that's a great question. So.
Yeah. You get a new Mercedes-Benz vehicle for each amiibo you have.
Yes. Just what I wanted. How did they know? There you go. Alright, well, I think that wraps up our Mario Kart 8 update discussion, so thanks guys for watching. If you liked our discussion, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain, which you can find links to in the description below, which is a good way to keep up to date on all of our Mario Kart 8, or all of our videos in general, including stuff we don't make videos about, like my disdain for these Mercedes cars. Alright, well thanks for watching guys, and keep an eye on GameXplain.com for more. Bye.